Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I am reviewing Star Wars The High Republic, The Rising Storm, the second adult novel in the High Republic series, and the start of Wave 2 of Phase 1 of The High Republic, but the novel is written by Cavan Scott and released on June 29th, 2021. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty good novel and a great follow-up to Light of the Jedi. And when, between this novel and Light of the Jedi, I'd probably say this one, I like less than Light of the Jedi, but I still thought it was pretty damn good. Definitely the final, 80 pages or so of this book, I was really into. Just, how tense, those moments were at the end of the book, and just, the tension levels throughout this book were, very high. Definitely during, the Nihil attack on the Republic Fair and whatnot, but the ending was just so much more tense than that, and whatnot. Also I found the book to be paced well, and quite the page turner. It took me a couple more weeks to it took me a lot longer to read this book, mainly because there's 3 weeks where I just didn't read it. So yeah, right when it came out, I read a good bit in a couple days, and I didn't read for 2 weeks, and then I just past 2-3 days I just picked it back up and I just finished it, because basically right when the Nihil attack on the Republic Fair started, right, was a couple chapters afterwards from where I picked up at, and I just read all of it, and so I was really invested into it. But like I said, I still enjoyed Light of the Jedi better, but this novel I still liked, and I thought that the tension was better than Light of the Jedi. Because obviously Light of the Jedi's big, tense event happened right at the start, so, I wasn't as into the characters yet, but even though Light of the Jedi, like I said, I still enjoyed it more. I enjoyed how they introduced all that in Light of the Jedi, but, this review is about The Rising Storm, which, like I said, enjoyed. Some of the stuff I enjoyed was not more of a presence with politician characters. Still not a crazy amount. I wish we would get maybe a little bit more. One thing definitely I want to see is the Republic Senate in session. We get that mentioned in the book that they're currently in session, but we don't actually see it. I would love to see it. And if it's the little pod room from the prequels, if it's that, I would love to have a scene with that. But the big political presence is obviously the Chancellor Lena So's in the book a bit, but she has more of a rival character, this Celestian senator named Tia Toon, who is against Lena So and wants the Republic to militarize on a bigger scale because of the threat of the Nihil, and thinks the Republic Fair is a waste of time and whatnot, which he turns out mostly right. Definitely in the fact that the Nihil are a bigger threat than what Lena So and the Republic thought it was. So I quite enjoyed seeing that. Hope we get more in later High Republic stories, but also this book wasn't as galaxy wide as Light of the Jedi was. Light of the Jedi, when you saw several different planets from the point of view of several different characters, where this one is mainly just on the planet Valo, where the Republic Fair is. We probably still get the same amount of point of views of different characters, but they're all at the Republic Fair and whatnot. So yeah, obviously that's really, I enjoyed how galaxy wide the story of Light of the Jedi was, and I enjoyed how more focused. This was on just one event. It worked for both stories. So yeah, but there's a lot of characters in this book. Several we met in Light of the Jedi, several we met in other High Republic stories, some who were mentioned in other High Republic stories who were kind of getting our first full meeting with those characters in this novel, and obviously some new characters also. Probably the biggest, most main character of the novel is Stellan Gios, who was mentioned in some of the Wave 1 stories and appears slightly at the end of Light of the Jedi, but this time we got our first full introduction to him, which, I quite enjoyed his character. He's very noble, smart Jedi who, feels very much like the Jedi, how the Jedi were described in the original trilogy from Obi-Wan and Yoda. We see him go by, a lot of the, using the Force for defense, never attack motto in this, and you actually see that a lot in this book too from the other Jedi, more so than some of the other High Republic stories. Obviously, this era was all about the Jedi being like those Jedi, and obviously I don't know if this is how the story's going to go, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of how the Jedi started to become like the Jedi of the Clone Wars, which ultimately led to their failure at the end of Revenge of the Sith. But Stellan, I quite liked him. This is definitely one of the more the prime examples shown of a Jedi like that. So yeah, and obviously two of the more main Jedi characters who are returning from Light of the Jedi, Elzar Mann and Bel Zettifar. Elzar Mann we see be a very conflicted. Both those characters seem to be conflicted, struggling with stuff. Obviously, Elzar with the vision he had at the end of Light of the Jedi, and we see him struggle with that, trying to stop it, I guess, from coming true. And obviously, he doesn't go to any of the other Jedi about it. But then once the Nihil attack and whatnot, we kind of see him dip into the dark side of the Force a little bit. But he instantly recognizes what he did and stops it, and eventually later on then comes to Stellan, and Stellan accepts that and wants to help him out, which is something what I like the Jedi of the Clone Wars era might have not done. They might have treated Elzar badly, where Stellan accepted him and wanted to help him. But yeah, and obviously with Bel Zettifar, I loved him in the first novel, and I loved him again in this novel. So in the first novel, he was with his master, Loden Greatstorm, but at the end of that novel, we see Loden get captured by Nihil. But Bel and all the other Jedi think, mainly all the other Jedi think Loden's gone, but Bel thinks deep down he's still there. But we see him struggle with trying to accept that Loden's gone. But eventually we see him come to terms with that, obviously, until the end of the book, when some of the Jedi, along with his new master, Indra Stokes, and obviously Elzar Mann, Stellan Gios, raid the Nihil outpost on the planet Grizzle, and when he gets there, he senses Loden, and eventually finds him after Loden gained the strength from sensing Bell also to break out of Marchion Ro's little prison cell. But, obviously that wasn't, was a happy little reunion, but obviously it didn't last because, Cavan Scott didn't want us to be happy. Because right after have a reunion, just, not even a chapter, maybe the same fucking chapter was, they get, Loden gets taken from Bell because he gets turned into stone and crumbles to dust, seemingly dead because of Marchion Ro, who has this new weapon called the Leveler, which we been seeing get teased at the end of Light of Jedi. He had this purple artifact we used on Loden. In the Hyperplaying Adventures, we see him collect another part of the artifact, and at the start of this novel, we see him collect the final part, and he uses it to summon this creature called the Great Leveler, who does what he did to Loden, which was, that's the ending of the book. Very shocking ending. And, because one thing, when they announced the Hyperplaying back when it was, Project Luminous, one thing they said was, show what scares the Jedi, and it seems like the thing what's scaring the Jedi, because, final line of the book is, Stellan Gios was afraid, referring to what happened to Loden. So, yeah, but I would assume in one of the next adult novels, we'll see Yoda, because in the Hyperplaying Adventures, he gets him and this Gran named Elder Tromac are heading to the planet where Marchion finds the last artifact at, but the second artifact, and they get shot in the sky, and that's the last time we've seen Yoda. In this novel, it's mentioned that, they don't know where he's at currently. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next novel we see Yoda return, and he's learned more about this artifact and whatnot, and they learn more about that, or even maybe the start of phase 2 even. So yeah, but, I want to talk about Nihil a little bit also. Back before Light of Jedi came out, I wasn't fully sure about the Nihil, about, how they would be as villains and whatnot, but after Light of Jedi, I was fully on board for them, and in this novel, continued to quite like them. Marchion, I obviously really, really like as the main villain. Obviously, there's other, members of the Nihil featured throughout the novel. There was one new Nihil member who was, my first thoughts video for the Red Storm. I talked about being really interested in, named Uda Dis. Who's like this force sensitive character, but he dies right away because he was used as a test on I believe the Leveler, so he dies. But I did enjoy him, enjoyed kind of that twist there that he gets killed. But obviously the other more main Nihil characters are the Tempest Runners, Lorna D and Panada, who are both in the Light of the Jedi. And because Marchion killed the other Tempest Runner, there's a new one named Litar, who's a male Talpini, but he doesn't really get a lot into doing this novel. He really doesn't have many big moments, but obviously Panada, probably the one who had the most amount of stuff, because he's him and Marchion are clashing and whatnot openly. He openly opposes Marchion and whatnot. He learns about Mara Santeca or whatever it is, who gives marking on the paths, the hyperspace paths, and exposes it in front of everyone. And obviously Markion tries to kill him several times, but fails every time because of stuff out of Markion's control. First time was because he just simply survived. The other time is he set explosive on his ship, but it got destroyed during the attack on the Republic Fair. And the second time was Lorna D gave him some, he basically revived him, because then Lorna D, when him and Lorna D then plan an attack after Republic Fair behind Markion's back, and wants to lay low for a little bit, but obviously it turned out Lorna D was double crossing Pan Eta by just simply not going to attack the place, where then he gets swarmed by the Republic and the Jedi and whatnot. But he ultimately escapes in his escape pod, which I guess had the escape pod had a path built into it to head back to his home world, where he is going to plan his revenge on Markion, Lorna D, and then Nihil. So yeah, but Lorna D, also I enjoyed her. She's obviously the smarter one, not being so openly opposed to Markion, and actually, having a smarter plan in place to, turn on Markion if that's, exactly what she wants to do. But yeah, there's some of me what feels like, they might be building up to her becoming, more of a redemption arc for her. I just kind of, something about her, I just felt like maybe there wasn't, felt there's a little bit of, good in her, but then again, I could just be wrong, misinterpreting what's going on. But she'll obviously be the main character in the upcoming audio drama Tempest Runner, so we'll definitely get a lot more deeper dive into her character in that. So excited for that. But so yeah, I quite liked the Nihil again in this novel. Definitely the threat level of them grew, definitely with the Republic now taking them a lot more serious, and definitely with Markion with this leveler creature, definitely makes him a lot more menacing. So yeah, but there's also several other new and returning characters. One of the bigger new characters, Ty Yorick, who's this former Jedi Padawan who left the Order to become a saber for hire monster hunter, and we see her take a job as a bodyguard, which leads her to Valo and the Republic Fair, where she eventually runs in with the Jedi, and because the thing with the person she was hired from, took this device to the Senator Tia Toon, and then the Jedi find out about it, and the device is bad, and then she gets arrested, and then when she's in jail, she meets the Jedi Padawan Ram Jamoram, who's the main character in Race to Crashpoint Tower, but escapes, and she eventually teams up with Elzar Man and whatnot, and I really enjoyed their dynamic together. But one thing I wish we got a little bit more of was seeing her monster hunter side. I was really interested in that when they revealed the character, several months ago. But obviously, we'll be definitely seeing that in the IDW comic miniseries from Cavan Scott, The Monster of Temple Peak. So, yeah, but I wish we got one more chapter with her, because we see her hunt down some Drengir at the start of the book. I wish we got one more chapter of her doing that, but, it is what it is. And, like I said, she teams up with Elzar, eventually heads to the planet Grizzle or whatever it's called with them when they to take on Nihil. So yeah, also several returning characters, some in bigger and some smaller capacity. Obviously, the Chancellor Lena, so so far I've liked her, but we really haven't got like a crazy deep dive into her character. I would enjoy just a novel, like I said, more about the politicians of the era and the political side of stuff. Maybe from her point of view more so, which would be I'd be interested in something like that. But we also get introduced to her son. It was like Kit Trip or something like that. I forgot the character's name, exactly what it was. But yeah, I thought he was alright. I really didn't super care for him too much. So yeah, but also there's several Jedi characters, like the Wookiee Bur-Yaga-Buri. You see him again. We don't get a lot of him in this though. I hope, in the next, middle grade novels, we get him as a main character. But he's been the main character of the young 8x8 reader books. The first one, The Great Jedi Rescue, which adapted the first act of Light of the Jedi. But, that wasn't anything special because, in the first act of Light of the Jedi, he was definitely there. There is the one for this novel, which will adapt the attack on the Republic Fair from his point of view. So I'm definitely excited for that because it can give a little bit more into, him during this event. But, yeah. Also, there was a Jedi character, I believe appeared in the Marvel comic series briefly, named Orba Lynn. He was the Starlight Beacon's archivist. And I enjoyed him. He's his species is very weird to me. Like, they're have to wear some special suits, and in it, when he's battling some Nihil, he leaks out into some green goo that can form into stuff. Is really weird sounding. I believe a species from him appeared in the background in Solo, so yeah, I quite liked him. Even though he's not a huge character in the book, he definitely has more of a presence in Bur-Yaga-Buri. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, but anyways, that's really all I had to say. Like I said, compared to Light of the Jedi, definitely like Light of the Jedi more. I guess one biggest thing words I can compare novels. Light of the Jedi I thought was a very much more hopeful book, where this one's a lot more a dreadful, a lot of dread in this book than Light of the Jedi, which obviously both are very common things in Star Wars stories. So and I definitely enjoyed how both those stories portrayed those elements. But so far I've been really liking the High Republic, and I thought this was another great entry into the High Republic and whatnot. But the High Republic, these stories are something I've wanted to see in Star Wars for a while now, with the Jedi in their prime during this era, and what they did when they weren't fighting the Sith and whatnot. So yeah, obviously I would. Another thing I want to see during this era is what the Sith were up to. So hopefully maybe one day we get something like that too. But what the Jedi were up to was even something during this era was something that wasn't really fully fleshed out a lot in canon either. So definitely excited we're finally getting these types of stories. But so far for me, it's lived up to what I've really wanted. But this novel, I recommend it. Definitely if you like Light of the Jedi, and if you didn't, I would say give it a try. Obviously if you don't like it, then I don't know if you'll like any of the High Republic stuff. But obviously if you didn't like Light of the Jedi but liked everything else from the High Republic, I'd recommend it also. So yeah, definitely if you liked the Marvel series, because it's both written by Cavan Scott, and definitely recommend it. But anyways, I'm gonna give this one an A. So yeah, anyways, I'll be doing a review for Race to Crash My Tower next. I don't know when, but you can check that out then. And then a couple of the comics have came out also, but then eventually Out of the Shadows. But there will be a Wave 3 reveal of the High Republic, I believe on the 23rd, so I'll be talking about that then. So yeah, but anyways, this has been a long one. It's almost 30 minutes of me recording. It's actually my second time recording this review, because the first time it came in at like over 40 minutes, almost an hour, 50 minutes, hour, so way too long, and this is still pretty damn long, so I'm just getting it off here. I've been Stars, catch you guys in the next one.